He actually put out a couple good ones a lot faster than I was actually and overall, in the end, he just, he's never satisfied with what he did. He's like, oh, this doesn't sound right, this doesn't sound right. I had to show him, no, everything sounds good and everything. And he heard the end of it, and he was happy with it. And as long as he was happy with it, we were happy because we figured, let him do this. He wanted to do it, and as long as he was happy with it, even if we all hated it or whatever, at least we felt accomplished knowing that the guy wrote it, because nobody in this group is happy with their own material to the fullest. They always feel like they can do better. So knowing that they, in the end, that if they even like a little bit, then they know everybody else is going to love it. And last but not least, there was Iraqi Sorrow, tentatively named. We're right now until Mike gets better, before he writes the lyrics and decides what to call it. The coolest part about this song is it divides the band. If the band was to ever break up, it would be for this song. Mostly because anything I write, Alex, our bass player, just loves. Don't know why. I actually wrote a song mocking one of my friend's playing styles because all of his songs, they incorporated this one element. So I was like, I'm going to use that. So I used his element, and I hated the song. I actually dubbed the song "I Hate This Song" with a little bit more vulgarity in there. And never really had a name, didn't really think much of it, just wrote it. And Alex put this bass to it and everything. He's like, oh, let's do this. We actually decided not to use that because as I hated it, Mike hated it, Joe hated it, the band overruled. Alex loved it, I don't know why, so we got rid of it. And we actually replaced that one with Fires, and that left Iraqi Sorrow, which was written a long time ago. Back when I served in Iraq for a 4-month tour, I was sitting there and they had this old acoustic guitar, and it was just kind of just sitting there in the corner all lonely. 3 strings on it, top 3 strings were only left because everything had been broken. And I'm used to playing speed and everything. Well, with this guitar, I couldn't. All the strings that I'm used to playing on were all broken. So I was like, you know what? Let's just try to put some feeling. I was depressed at the time. Kind of wanted something that could express my mood right there. And I wrote the beginning to Iraqi Sorrow. And then came back from Iraq, saw my friends and everything. Just, I was so happy. I was like, all right, well, I got these really simple, this beginning. What do you guys think? And they heard it and they're like, oh, that's all right. Alex liked it. Joe liked it. Jay was a fan of it. Mike, still to this day, I'm pretty sure, just hates it. Just the guitar part. It's not his style. It's too slow. It's got fast parts, but not enough of them. So I was feeling really happy. I was kind of like, all right, well, I'll go with whatever mood I'm feeling. So we were getting ready to go to Oklahoma, so I was kind of excited and everything, but I wanted to finish up the slow part because it just kind of ended abruptly. And so I added the next slow part to it, the single individual notes, and Joe put the dual over it. Sounded really cool and everything. Nothing really special. And I was like, all right, now it needs to really pick up. And we want to kind of MIA, feel from it from Avenged Sevenfold. And they had this really cool pre-verse with the dual guitar as well. I was like, well, I want to do something like that, but I want it to be faster. So we had the duals going, and then I couldn't think of anything to go with the verse. I was like, I want it to be like headbanging, like when you hear the song Reminiscence, you just, like, as soon as that guitar picks in, you just want to headbang. I was like, I want to play something like that. And it was hilarious because I wrote the verse that you hear today to it. And I loved it. I was like, oh my god, that sounds awesome. And Joe's like, oh, that sounds cool. Send me the tabs to it, so I can see what I can do with it. And I'm like, oh no. And she's like, why? Why are you refusing to tell me? I'm like, it's way too simple. You'll laugh at me. And I sent it to him. Of course, he laughed at me. This was like, anybody could play this. Somebody who picked up the guitar for a month could end up playing this verse. Just simple power chords, just picked, in a way that made it sound cool and at a speed that kind of mixed well with it. So he gets it and everything, and we're trying to experiment with courses, but nothing would fit. And I had this old course, also the one that's on there now, that was just like, oh man, you know what? This has been in front of me the entire time. So I sat there and I laid down this verse, and sounds really cool. I like it. Also, like I said, very simple. Anything I write is always, it's not really too complicated if it's chords wise. Mainly, as I said earlier, not too big on the complicated chords. Acoustic guitar, you want all your D, G, Z's. But whenever I play electric, I always feel compelled to go with the power chords. Always that real strong, heavy hitting feeling to them. And yeah, we finished that up, and the first solo that you hear in it came from "I Hate This Song." I had it, and I'm like, well, I want to incorporate that, so we changed up the chorus a little bit to where the last part of the first chorus is palm muting. That way, palm mutes into it, and I played it, and then I did the backing chords behind it. Sitting in my room after the trip was over, I was like, all right, well, this Iraqi Sorrow wasn't really finished, so I was like, all right, well, let's go ahead and finish this. So I put the backing chords behind it, and it just, it sounded well. And whenever I heard the solo over it, I was like, oh, it sounds like right here, like it needs to go to this, but the solo's already recorded. So I went ahead and just recorded these quick 2 bends, like how I thought the solo would fit, like if people listen to it, what they would expect. It fit more. It fit really well. And yeah, from there I went ahead, and Joe was like, well, we got to have it ending slowly too. Like it comes off, picks up real fast, and then we want to end it, but don't end it too similar to the way that you did. But I really like that beginning way as an ending. So that's when I would put in the 2 tapping parts. The first one came pretty naturally. I had sped it up in a different song. It was really fast. It sounded really cool. I was like, well, if you slowed that down, that really sounded kind of sappy, and I kind of like that sound. So we did that. Slowed it down. Went ahead, picked it up at the end. Not like, the second part of it a little bit faster than the first part, just kind of give it closure, and then ended back with like what Joe said, where we took the beginning part of it, didn't play it exactly the same, played it to where there's a little bit more feel into it, and then dueled over the parts, and then went 1 step higher to the even higher parts, just played the same pattern, just on the higher strings, got it, and then finished it with that real sappy dun 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 dun, because it just, that was closure. And towards the end of the song, we were like, all right, that's perfect. Sent it to them, and I think they really liked it. Mike still hates it, but overall, I think it definitely shows people that we're more than just the typical metal band that just, every song that we do ends up being, really heavy, and kind of keeps them guessing, so that they know that we're not just going to play the same song over and over again.